Hello everyone, how are you all? I'm here back again, and today we will discuss about Appian documentation, right? So this is a very good documentation, right? What we have with Appian, and it gives us everything, right? So whenever we are learning Appian or any low-code platform, right, we need to see the documentation or the details of the functions and how to understand the process. What are the design objects? What are the UI objects? And there are a lot of stuff, right? So it's always good to see the documentation, right? So today we will be discussing about how we can utilize the documentation in a very good way, and how we can keep track of latest release, uh, new enhancements, right? So let's get into it. And right now, as you are seeing this is my documentation page, and here we have the Appian versions. So you can see currently this is selected, but I can go to the 23.2 and I can see whatever the details related to that, right? So this is my latest. I can click on my agree, and you can see or view all release notes, right? So here we can see all the release notes and what are the new features which are coming, and we can take a look. So there is a lot of stuff, right? Whenever they release something new, they put all these information, and we got various things, right? Sometimes they are increasing the functionalities of UI capabilities, and right now as we are focusing on AI, so they've also introduced a co-pilot thing, right? So that is very cool, so you can take a look at that part also. So if I'll go inside my environment, and let me show you one thing. If I go in my sandbox, or if I will go to any of the site which I have created previously, because they are increasingly rapidly increasing all that things. So sites is also object where they have done a lot of modification recently. So previously, if you remember, there is a limitation of 5 tabs, right? So now the limitation increase, and we can also do groupings in websites, right, inside object, and the limitation is now 10, right? So we can have 10 tabs, and we can combine every data, and we can use it, right, utilize it, and instead of creating many different sites for different functionalities or pages, we can now use a single site with grouping, right? And in automation, let's go and see what are the latest features. So we have document classification, extraction, email classification. So this is something related to AI, right? So they are introducing these features, and we can utilize them if needed. And if I scroll down, let me show you other cool features. So we have the email classification AI skill. Okay, so these all are related to AI and RPA also, because previously, if you remember, when Appian, whenever we need to do some RPA stuff in Appian, then we need to go inside the RPA console, and we need to create objects in that. We need to design, modify, and create all the RPA components in that. Now we can create RPA components in the design view directly, right? So if I cancel this and I will click on new, then you can see this RPA robotic task and robotic robot pool. We have these two options, and we can see all my robotic process task inside this designer, right? So we have the CDT, which we have already have there, and we have the data store record type. These two things are new, and we have this AI skill, which is also kind of a new feature. We can explore this, and inside the record there is a lot of features, right, inside the record. So if I'll go to my Appian documentation again, so let's say if I wanted to understand about any of the object in depth, right, so what I can do, I can utilize this quick links, right? So in this quick links we have tutorials, we have sale design system. In this there will be a lot of sale designing. Let me show you. You can see there are different. If I'll click on this get started and scroll down, so you can see these UI frameworks, we can build something like this, and a lot of examples are there, right? You can just take a look and just also use, or we can copy this elements also, right? And where is my quick links? So we have interface recipes, right, which are the recipes which we can use in interface to make our UI good looking, or we can utilize the patterns which are already there in the interfaces, right? So there is a lot of stuff, you can explore it. And if I go inside the function recipe, so like query entity, query record type, so there are a lot of recipes are there in this query recipes. In the function recipes, whatever function Appian provides, it will give us the recipes accordingly, right? So if I wanted to take a look at all the functions at a single place, I can directly jump into this all functions page, and it will take me to the list of all the functions which we have in Appian. And the list is very long, right? There is a lot of functions, and it's currently loading. Okay, so you can see this list is this array. We have array functions, we have base conversions, we have connectors conversion, date time, and interface components. So we can utilize it, right? The documentation is really very helpful in this quick links step, right? So we are currently inside the Appian function. And you can see if I wanted to use how we can use choose, then we can just take a look at this example and the result is there, right? And there is the function list is so long, we can go inside the text and there is a lot of functions there, right? Because every time they modify something, they will put down all the description, and whenever they are deprecating something, then they will put down that function that it is deprecated, and the user is not suggested to use it, right? So we will use whatever is the latest and whatever is working good, right? So in the quick links, we can also take a look at the design data types. Data types are the custom data types and all the data types which we have inside the Appian environment, right? And for example, let's say we wanted to understand in depth of every object, then we can go inside the design objects. So let's get into the design object, and let's say I wanted to explore record type, so I can go inside the record type, and this is my record type, record list, record views, and related action. So these are the high level description. If I click on these links, let's say in the record type we have this relationship feature which is currently uh, with a few latest release, we got this relationship feature, and it's a very useful feature, right? For example, whenever we are creating some nested CDTs, right? Or whenever we are finding some data with attached to their foreign keys from the database, right? Then we need to use CDTs, we need to query the rule with their foreign keys, and we need to do a lot of stuff, right? So now we don't have to worry about it. We just need to use the record type. In that record type, we can build the relationship, and we can use the relationship. We can use nested relationship and the nested record type which we have attached it with like the relationship types, one to many, many to one, whatever is the, like in your case, whatever will be the best scenario, you can build that relationship type and you can select that record type, right? You can see this one. So we have many to one, we have many to one to many, one to one. So this page is the page where you need to configure your relationship in the record type, right? So these are all the features of record type, and there is a lot of stuff, right? You can see in the relationship tab itself, there is a lot of detail which you can cover, right? We need to understand whole data model, how it is working and how the relationship is working. And there is a lot of things you can see in the record link. We are using FVBank row and the record type. This is your record type which we are using from the relationship, because this case it is attached to some customer, then this is attached to this customer, this field and name, right? So this is how we can point to that relationship object, right? And the identifier, so whatever will be the identifier, we can take a look at that one also. And in this case, the identifier is also the ID of the other table where we have built the relationship. So this is how we can use the relationship, right, in different ways. And there are a lot of examples. You can see this design object they have created this record type with this pie chart, right? So lot of things we can do. We can use a bank query record type to query the record type, right? So whenever we are querying the data from database, either we can query the data by the help of a bank query entity with the help of CDTs, right? And the constant of the data store entity, or we can use query record types, right? So we just need to put the record type here. We don't have to create any CDT. And inside the fields, we need to specify the fields. Whatever grouping and measures we wanted to build, we can do it, or whatever filter is required, right? So this is all about the quick links where we have all the list of things and we can take a look at this, right? In the administration and extended Appian, there are other features also, right? In the solution, you can see there are a lot of solutions which many different vendors has discovered, right? Or they have built these applications, right? Let's say connected KYC, or let's say this COVID-19 application, let's Campus Pass, right? So we can take a look at this application and we can see how this application is working and what are the features, and we can also utilize it, right? We can take this application and integrate it with our Appian environment, right? And in the release information, we will have all the release information. In the community, we have the different features. So let's go back to the Appian documentation. And this is the release notes. These are the Appian designer objects, the data objects, interfaces, automation, process mining. It's a process mining is also a different tool, right? Which is already attached with Appian to understand the process, because in the Appian, right, we build process, we build the whole from start till end, we build the process we by the help of process models. And that process models, every time whenever we are running a process model, one instance is created, right? So to understand that instance, the data flow, the mining of that process, we need to use this feature which is Appian mining, right? Process mining. And we can understand how our data is flowing, in which processes the data is flowing the most, and which process is not utilized, where we need to do the improvement, and all the details about the data, about the process, we can see inside the process mining, right? So we can enable it also if we want, right? So these are all the functionality of Appian data, this one documentation, right? And there are the hot fixes, release history, system requirements, and the basic details, right? Whatever we can just directly, let's say I wanted to search load function, right? So now we don't use load function, but let's search it, right? So Appian documentation will provide us the details regarding this load function, and you can see now we need to use a bank local variable. This is something new, right? Previously we use load function. Now we don't have to use load function. Now whatever load functions uh, give us, we can also utilize a bank local variable, and everything we will get it inside this only. And here is the detail of this function, and whatever the detail will be, the parameters, the return type, right? So we can also do a search if we are confused about how to go inside the functions and how to find out. It's a quick way, we can just do a search, and this documentation will help us, right? So try exploring this documentation, because this will take you to all the new features. You can see how it is working, what are the different features, and also you can take a look at the Appian app market, right? Where the plugins detail you will find out in the community, where you can put down your question and anyone can answer it, right? So try utilizing that features also. So today we only discussed about this Appian documentation, and in future we will definitely be discussing how to use record type relationships, how to build the integration with different cloud environments, and we'll also talk about the AI feature also, right? So wait for the video, and we'll see you in next video. Till then, thank you. Bye bye.